Since we're coming into a new year, and we have the whole year to look back on and see, how we can improve and what we can do to enhance the next year coming upon us. I figured I'd give you a brief overview of the past year and what I've learned, and hopefully I can share some of this to make your life a little better. So it was a little more challenging this year than I envisioned. I had a job for 13 months, and I'll just say, I won't say the company I worked for or why I left, but I'll just say it was an abrupt leaving, and wasn't planning on it at the beginning of the year. The entire year of 2017, I had that job. I planned on staying there for quite a long time. It was abrupt leaving, but fortunately, I got a job shortly after that, and I didn't much like that much better. So I ended up getting a job at Summit Racing, which I love the culture of the company. I love doing customer service, but I wasn't passionate about the automobile industry. So I went there. I worked there for about 5 months, exactly 5 months actually. And then after that, I was applying because I knew it wasn't a long-term position for me. And then I got a job dispatching, what the technical term is fleet support at FedEx. And so far I've really liked it. I've been here 4.5 months now, and I think it's a good position for me. I don't have to walk around. It's good, good for my disability because I'm able to do it. And there's just a lot of, discussion with drivers how they're going to, make their run if a driver breaks down. We help them through that situation by getting them a tow. If a load cancels, we calculate the pay of their load, because the driver still gets paid even if the load cancels after they've been on the load. And there's a lot of complicated things which you don't think about going to driving a truck and behind the scenes sort of thing that goes into driving a truck at FedEx. So I do like it so far, so I'm glad that I'm working here at FedEx. It's been a great opportunity for me to learn. So the reason I kind of brought up that I wanted to share, about how you can learn from the past year is because the job that I had for 13 months, I didn't really feel like it was an honest living. They charge exorbitant interest to people who are not good with money, typical of credit card industries. And I think this is kind of a dirty business. So my point here is, if you work for one of these firms, I would encourage you not to work for them, because they're gouging people who can't afford interest payments. And it's not just credit card industries. There's a lot of companies. If you in your heart have a gut feeling that what you're doing is not honest, but if you make a decent amount of money at it, you're better off working for another company. There's like Goldman Sachs is a primary example of like a criminal bank that's legalized, but what they do is not honest. You could work for any industry that if your primary goal is not to serve the customers that ultimately allow you to come to work every day and get paid, you might as well not go. If your primary goal is for you to make money, or manipulate currencies, or do whatever you have to do, casinos would be another example of this. The sex industry, drug industry, even like the Sackler family, and prescription medication. That's another thing that, it's kind of a shady business. Even even if you're like a secretary for one of those firms, you know, you might not think, but you're supporting that industry. And if it's not something deep down you believe in, even if you're working really hard, you might as well not work there. Because I mean, you can make a lot of money and become a philanthropist, but ultimately the best thing to do is just to make an honest living when you're living, rather than making a lot of money doing something that's not honest and giving a lot of away to a cause that is probably not that great. If everybody were honest, we wouldn't have to have philanthropy, although there'd still be people who were wealthy. There'd still be people who would give money away, but wouldn't have to have it like we do today. And a lot of the mutual fund managers, like George Soros and other mutual fund managers who make billions of dollars, manipulate currencies, donate to causes that I do not support. And then somebody could be a carpenter their entire life and, you know, have a good retirement for themselves, but then they couldn't give any away. But the carpenter makes a lot more honest living than a guy like George Soros. And my point here is just to make an honest living rather than making a lot of money. It's more important, you know, that you do things honestly. You serve the customer, and you feel like you actually believe in what you do, rather than just are in it to make a lot of money and make your own life better. You actually do believe fully what you do is helping the good of the American society. I think this is an important way. This is an important thing to live life. This is an important way to live life, and this is the primary thing that I've learned in the year 2018.